Boom, boom, boom. All right, so here we go. This is the one framework that I'm going to show you how everything fits together. Hold on, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. We'll get to that in a second. So here's the problem that I have faced, and I think a lot of you guys have faced too, is, and by the way, before we get started, I just want to say, go check out Simplero.com. It is the perfect platform for you to implement your online business and implement this framework that we get to. So, something I hear from a lot of people and something that I personally experience is that you have all these gurus and teachers that teach you all these different things that you need to do in your business, right? You need to do a webinar funnel on high ticket, or you need to do challenges, or now you should do events, you should do low ticket courses, you do high price courses, you should do subscriptions, you should do Instagram influencers. No, it's YouTube. No, you should write a book. Like, no, it's a micro book. You need lead magnets. You need like all of these things. You're like, what the hell do I do with all that stuff, right? Like, where does it all fit in? And so it's very easy to just get pulled in all these different directions, and you don't have a clear plan and a clear strategy. It's kind of like if you're assembling a puzzle with your kids, or maybe you like to do puzzles, whatever, but you don't have that picture on the box that shows you how everything fits together. How on earth are you ever going to figure out that puzzle? Well, you might, right? If you're lucky, but it's going to be really, really hard. And that's how most people go about building their business. I've been in the world of online marketing in 15 years, since 2008, when I bought Jeff Walker's Product Launch Formula 2.0. It was a great product. I learned so much from it. And then I went and I swam upstream, and I went to Yannick Silver's event and Frank Kern's event, and I went to a bunch of Dan Kennedy events because everybody kept talking about Dan Kennedy. Everybody learned from him. And so I bought all of his stuff. He called it the whole enchilada. All of his things I got them shipped to my house in 3 ginormous packages, boxes with like manuals and CDs and DVDs and all that crap. And I ripped it off, and I ripped it so I could go through it on my phone. I went through all that stuff, and I studied it, and I learned so much, and I loved it. And I got super deep into this marketing. But then what happened was that as I got deeper into the marketing world, online marketing world, and I got to know some of these people, I realized that my initial instincts, which were, felt a little scammy. Like, it felt a little get rich quick, kind of make money on the online, make money on the internet. It felt a little like that, right? And what I realized was that it was actually like that. Like, people were super scammy. They would say whatever to make the sale. They would lie. They would cheat. Like, they would manipulate, all of those things. And I was like, screw that, I'm out. And so I actually that was in 2011 or something. I actually just went out of that whole world. I focused on product, Simplero.com, and customer service, also Simplero.com. Like, we just do the best product I can, offer the best customer service. And that has grown us to where we're at today, which is quite remarkable. Whenever I tell people that, they're like, dude, you're sitting on a gold mine. And so what happened was that recently I decided, let me get back into the game. I'm not going to let go of my integrity. Integrity is number one for me. It's my non-negotiable. It's the hill I'm going to die on, or at least I'm willing to die on. But I'm going to apply the principles of marketing, and then I'm going to go deep dive into this world and really come up with a coherent framework that shows you how everything fits together. So that is what I want to show you today. And I want to pre-frame you and just warn you that when you see this, you're going to be like, oh my God, it's complicated. There's so many boxes. Don't worry. It's actually not that complicated. I'm going to walk you through it step by step. But this is the overview that you've been missing to help you understand what it all is and how it all fits together. I've hired very, very expensive consultants for $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. And they will gladly take your money and come in and just do random shit without actually checking if you have the prerequisites in place. Do you know your avatar? Do you have a converting funnel? Do you have a converting sales process? Do you have the salespeople? Do you have the ability to generate enough leads? Do you have like clarifying your like, can you scale with it? Do you have the team to support this? Like, they don't check if you are actually a good fit for them. They will just take your money, do some shit, and maybe it will give some results, maybe it won't, right? And then if it doesn't get you results, they'll blame you. So there's so many people like that in this industry. Stay clear of those people, and the way you stay clear of them is that you refer to this framework and you know exactly what you need to focus on next, because there's a sequence to things, and if you do it out of sequence, it's not going to work. So that's the key here. That's what I'm offering you today. If someone else had done this for me, I would be glad, but it seemed like in 15 years in online marketing, no one's done it. So I took it upon myself to do it for me, and then here I am sharing it with you. So let's get into what it actually looks like. So boom, here's what it looks like. And I'll show you, I'll walk you through a little bit at the high level. So we got the value ladder here. So that's the steps here. And in the value ladder, if we start here, this is your core offer. This is the main thing that you sell. That's the most important thing. Like that's where you're the core of your business. You want to get that first. Then if we go down the value ladder, we have the front end offers. These are the things that get people into your core offer. And then before that, in front of that, again, we have your free content. And in front of that, we've got the market that you're fishing in. Could be multiple. All right. And then at the very top here, we've got the high ticket offer. So that's kind of the value ladder. And then we've got a red ocean. We got the blue ocean, and we got the bridge between the red and the blue. So I'll deep dive into all of those things and walk you through how this all works. But let's start with the core offer. So in this case, I have the core offer should generally, you want it to be a subscription. And what that means is that people are paying you monthly, annually, whatever it is, but it's an ongoing thing. And the reason why is if you don't, then chances are that the subscription gives you stability in your business, right? I can do zero marketing and we're going to be steady. We're going to make the same amount of money every single month. Maybe a little bit more, maybe like depending on how you set it up, but you can do if you're doing subscription and you're really delivering value to people, you don't do any marketing. Like the baseline is that you make the same this month as you made last month. And then now your marketing efforts is just increasing that level and increasing that level and increasing that level, which means now it compounds. The other thing is I love that it aligns you with the success of your customers. So my business is a software company, software as a service. It's called SaaS. We call it SaaS. Another way to think of that is success as a service, right? We get to keep a client to the extent that we are delivering success. If you make the money up front and then your income is not contingent at all on their success, then you're going to be incentivized not to get a new client more than you're incentivized to make sure that your existing clients have success. But if they're paying you every month, you're very incentivized to make sure that they keep paying you every month, which means they need to see results with what you're doing, right? So that's why we want the subscription ideally as the core offer. Inside of that, you can have level 1, level 2, level 3. You can have multiple levels inside of that core offer. All right, so that's the first thing that we want to get done. Next up, we want to get people into the subscription. So the subscription offer could be, for example, online only, some course content, group coaching, community. You could also definitely do in person, like some meetups and whatnot. But typically you reserve that for the high ticket. But you can structure it how you will. But like subscription would be, depending on what it is, anywhere from, let's say $100 a month to maybe $500 a month. That's kind of your core offer subscription. Depends on the market and outcomes, all those things, obviously. But that's kind of a good level. And again, you have multiple levels inside that. All right, next up, we need to get people into the subscription. And that's what front-end offers do. So front-end offers are either free or cheap. And there's so many things you can do here. This is where you get really creative. And this is where you typically will use a sales funnel of some sort, right? So like, they'll be like, buy this $1 thing or $7 thing or free with plus shipping kind of thing. And they for your advertising cost, that's a huge win because now you got a customer. You bought yourself a customer, and that customer that bought something on the front end, now there's a good likelihood that you can enroll a certain percentage of them in your core offer. And if you're getting those for free, that's fantastic, right? Maybe 20% of them convert, or maybe 50% convert, or whatever into your core offer. That's amazing. That is the game with the front end offers. And some of the really solid ones, if you're doing subscription, One of the things that, so this is sort of from Russell Brunson's The Linchpin. There's some of the ideas from there, There's some ideas from Steve Larsen, and there's some ideas from Perry Belcher. There's a lot of ideas from a lot of different people meshed into this. But if you look at Russell Brunson's Linchpin, that model is basically, subscription. Then he calls it the Mifke Most Incredible Free Gift Ever. It's basically a free with subscription offer. So, hey, we'll give you all the stuff for free if you will sign up for our subscription. Classic example that Perry Belcher mentions is the Sports Illustrated magazine. Back in the, I think, 80s or 90s, they did a football phone. So like a traditional phone, pre-cell phones, obviously, that looked like a football. And people really, let me see if I can make myself a little bit bigger here. There we go. Without obscuring, let me, if I put myself down there, maybe. Yeah. So that phone, people really wanted the phone. And so they were willing to sign up for a subscription in order to get the phone. So it's really like the premium, the thing that people get here is what gets people in. All right, try the subscription. If you don't like it, you can charge for the subscription up front. You can make it a trial, and then you can still do upsells after this, right? So once they opt in for the subscription, they get all these things. Then you're like, oh, now you're here. Maybe you want this thing and that thing and the other thing, right? The whole game here is to get people into the subscription. That's the purpose. And the purpose is not to make money. The purpose is to get people into the subscription. Here's a list of some ideas of things you can do. Lead magnets, audio, teleseminar, conference calls, Kindle books, audiobooks, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So many things. We'll dive into more of that later. The other thing that Russell has is what he calls a dramatic demonstration. So challenge or webinar is typically the format. So I plan on doing 5-day challenges. Might want to do webinars. Right now, I'm working on this, actually, the free with subscription offer. And then we're probably going to do 5-day challenge, like 90 minutes a day over 5 days. You can do a webinar. Could be a little bit of a smaller lift. The point is, at the end of a challenge, the end of the webinar, you always make an offer, right? That's the point. The point of the challenge of the webinar is to make an offer to get people to the next level. And here's what you do is what you make the offer to buy into the subscription. So if the subscription is $100 a month, maybe your offer here is for $1,000. You will get access to the subscription for a whole year, and we'll throw in a bunch of extra bonuses, right? So it's really an offer to get people into the subscription at a discounted, bulk rate, whether it's 6 months or 12 months or whatever it is, with some bonuses thrown in. So that's what the challenge is about. So these are kind of the two types of front-end offers. The other thing you can do here is like tripwire, and then like on the thank you page or on the next page, you get people into the subscription. Just like here with the challenge, the webinar, as soon as people register for the challenge or the webinar, you want to get people on a trial into the subscription. So you're always getting people into the subscription. That's the goal. That's your North Star. How many people do we have as subscribers? All right. Moving further up the value ladder here, here's the content machine. So this is the free content. If you don't do this, then you're going to have to spend money in ads or JVs, both of which are great. But once you get the organic content machine really going, that's going to generate content or generate leads for you all the time. And it's consistent. You invest up front, and then it gives you leads continuously forever, pretty much. So it's a really good thing to get going. It takes a little bit, but it's absolutely worth it. Now, here's something that tripped me up for the longest time was like getting clear on who I serve and what problem I solve for them. I don't know if anyone here has that issue. I'm probably going to do a separate video about that because it was such a weird ass struggle for me. But I want you to understand that every single business is in business for one reason and one reason only. It is so that you can solve problems for people. So there's always a specific problem that we solve and a specific outcome that we deliver for people. And once you have people in, you can do a lot more than that. But on the front end, you need to be very clear, this is the problem I solve, and this is who I solve it for. And I think that was one of the things that screwed me up, is like, I was this like multi-passionate for like, I love food and I love spirituality and I love the systems and all the things like health and all that. Like what do I talk about? Well, you need to choose a lane. And basically in your public content, especially, like, doesn't mean that's the only thing you can ever talk about, but in the stuff that's designed to generate leads for your business, you need to be very clear on who you're talking to and what problem you're solving for them. So, and then the other thing that tripped me up was that, like, what do I say? What's the sales message? So that's where the red ocean, blue ocean stuff comes in. So the red ocean, there's a book called Blue Ocean Strategy. And the whole idea is that you want to create let's go back a sec. So the idea is that you fish, like the markets get red over time. They get bloody. There's a lot of competition. Red means bloody. It's like, there's so much competition in this market, like it becomes really hard to stand out. So how do you combat that? And the way you combat that is you create a blue ocean, meaning it's all yours, but you're the only one, like you're the first touchscreen smartphone, blue ocean. No one's done that before. Here's the problem, however. If you're just like, hey, blue ocean, no one's done this, like it might be because there's no interest in it. It might be because nobody cares, right? But what you want is you need to tap the red ocean, because that's where people are. Like the market's where people are. It's like you go to the strip mall and like that's where people are. And so like people come to the strip mall. So if you want to do something, you got to put up shop at the strip mall, and then you can say, oh, all these other people do like coffee. We do mud water, but you have to fish where the coffee drinkers are. Does that make sense? And so that's where this stuff comes in. So inside the red ocean, so in order to get leads, to get people into your world, you need to fish in the red ocean. And inside of the red ocean are three major groups. They're the fanatics, the fine, and the frustrated. So the fanatics are just like, they're loving the red ocean. And by the way, so a red ocean is nothing more than a group of people who are seeking to solve a given problem using a specific vehicle or mechanism, right? A specific way to solve this problem. So like if you're talking like weight loss, they're trying to solve it by like eating less. And then you come around and you say, no, it's not that. You need to be low carb, high fat, for example. You need to be keto. Hey, what up, Yasmin? That's the kind of thing. It's like it's the mechanism. Or like you're trying to build an online business, but you're doing it using paid ads, and I'm saying, no, you should do JV and partnerships. Or you're trying to grow your business and you're using like 8 different software platforms, and I come around and say, no, you should do it all in one. That's the better vehicle for you to build your business. However, inside of the red ocean, there are going to be these 3 groups. So there's the fanatics that is just loving the current vehicle. They're like, nope, this is the best fucking vehicle in the world. Don't tell me otherwise. Like I'm totally sold. Forget those people. Then there are going to be the people who are fine with the current vehicle. It's like, it's not, great. It's not terrible. It's just what it is. Those people are also not your people. Forget that. But then there are the frustrated. Stop it. The frustrated people. Those are your people. This is, by the way, this is not a J, this is a hook. So the frustrated people, those are the ones that you want, because they're in that market. They're trying to solve this problem and achieve the outcome that they're after, but they're frustrated with the current vehicle. And so pretty much all you need to do to those people is say, hey, look, I know like you're trying to solve this problem. You're trying to get this, and you've tried X, Y, Z. You tried all these things, and like it's not freaking working. You hate it. It's frustrated, right? And then they're going to say, yes, that's right. And then you say, well, I have, and here's my new opportunity, as Russell calls it. This is my new vehicle, my new blue ocean, my new mechanism by which you can achieve your goal. Like, give that a try. And it's kind of as easy as that, right? So you never want to spend any time trying to convince anyone to buy from you. Like, that's a waste of time. Like the fanatics, fine. Like let them be. Like, wait for them to get frustrated. Stop. And then you just fish there and fish for the people who are red. And then when eventually you might, like when you're successful with this, eventually you might run out of frustrated people to fish in this red ocean. Well, then you just tap another red ocean that people are in, right? Maybe we find a group of realtors or e-com people and they're frustrated, or like whatever. So different markets, but they're all frustrated, and your vehicle can help them achieve their goal. So that's how we do this. And so basically you fish in the red ocean, and then your content machine and your front end offers is the bridge to the blue ocean that educates them on the need for your blue ocean, right? So your challenge, your webinar, is basically all about educating them on your blue ocean and why that's the solution. Same with the content that you offer here as a bonus with the subscription. That's all about like indoctrinating. So sounds like a nefarious word, but it's like really like educating people on why your vehicle, your new opportunity is better. And then, from here on, you're now in the blue ocean. And now you can then sell them a subscription and educate them, etc. And then what we do after is we do the high ticket. And this is not the only way to sell the high ticket. Like you can do a simple application, but one good way of selling high ticket is a live event. And then once they're into the high ticket program, here there could be like certification, mastermind, in-person, smaller group size. Inside of the high ticket, you can also have multiple levels, right? So a good example is, what's her name? I forget. Like coach doing multiple 8 figures. Anyway, so they're doing, their core offer is like, I think $300 a month coaching for individuals, but then the high ticket is a certification in coaching. So you can be certified in using this methodology, this model of coaching. So that's a simple model. You don't have to do all of this. Like my friend and client, friends and clients over at Pampa Program, they're doing multiple 8 figures with just a core offer that's not even a subscription. It's wild. So you don't have to do all of this, but this is kind of the model. There is going to be a core offer. It may or may not be subscription. It may or may not have levels. You may or may not have a high ticket offer, right? You are going to have some front end offers, and then you may or may not have a content machine, but eventually you probably want to have one. And this is the way that you get clients. Okay. This is a way that you fish for clients. They're frustrated with the current, mechanism, right? For example, if you have chronic illness and you're frustrated with trying to like go to the hospitals and doctors and get blood tests and figure all that stuff out because like it's not working, it's not getting you results. Boom, that's where you can come in and give an alternative health option for how they can get out of their misery and their pain and their chronic illness and suffering. So this at a high level is the framework. And I hope that was useful to you, because what that tells you is like if you don't have your core offer dialed in yet, then that's where you need to dial in. If you don't have your red ocean and your sales message and like where you're fishing, that's where you need to dial in, right? And then the second thing, that's the numbers here. Number 2 is you got to figure out how to get people into your subscription offer. And do some sort of front end offer free with subscription. Like you definitely want to, like you don't want to just get the sale here. You want to get people into the subscription right away, on the front end here. Then once you got that going, then you can move on to building the content machine and start to get content pumping out, because it's just only going to help with that. And then you start to put together the challenge. The enrollment offer here is like, what is that offer that's going to get people in at like $1,000, $2,000 price point? It's the typical price point for a challenge or a webinar. I think webinar maybe like on the lower side, more like the 1,000 challenge. You could do maybe 2,000. You can also do higher. Like there's no hard rules in any of this stuff, right? But then that would be the next thing that you do, and then you start looking at adding a high ticket, and then maybe a live event as a way to get people into the high ticket. You can also do sales calls or application to sales call, that kind of stuff. And I'll deep dive into all of those things in future videos. So I hope this framework was helpful to you. The goal is to give you that big picture so that you understand your business, what you need to do, so you don't waste money and time on expensive detours like I have, I really want to save you from the hassle of doing that and the expense of doing that. Make it very, very clear. So I'm going to do, I think in the next video, I'm going to dive into the who and the what and the how, like who's your avatar, what this problem you solve for them, to talk about some of the things that I've struggled with there, because I've literally struggled with this for like 15 years. I kid you not. It's like insane. And all the people that talk about like define your ideal avatar and what magazines do they read and what movies do they like, all that crap is completely unnecessary. It's BS. Like, it's not how this works. So I'm gonna set the record straight on that. Again, go to simplero.com, sign up for a free trial. This is what we do. This is our bread and butter. We're the platform where you can implement all of this stuff, right? Not like 8 different platforms, 8 different tools, all of it in one platform. So go check out simplero.com. I hope to see you there. And much love. Be well. Simplero.com. 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 All right. See ya.